Hi, good afternoon. Glad we're still awake. Everybody have coffee? We're ready to go? All right. So my name is Ashley Vannella. I am the Director of Revenue Operations at Velocity EHS. For those that don't know about Velocity, we are an ESG and EHS software company. And I'm going to start by taking it back a few years. Does anybody remember COVID? Because that was a thing, right? And we had a pipeline full of deals, all sorts of great-looking, wonderful things. And we get to the end of the quarter, and we miss. We missed plan. And we get to our leadership meeting, and we're sitting with the board, and they said, what happened? How did we get here? And unfortunately, at the time, we didn't exactly know. So what ended up happening was we had these things called rolling hairballs. Has anybody heard that term before? So a rolling hairball is when you have a very large deal that is in your monthly forecast, and then in your quarterly forecast, and then somehow 3 days before the end of the close, no longer in your forecast. You know, a little fun. It's always an exciting time for us RevOps people. And so as this came to be, what we were seeing with our forecasting is that we were running into some issues. We were having reps that either didn't submit on time or were submitting inconsistently. We didn't have enough visibility to be able to confirm were folks actually doing the right processes and then passing that on to leadership. And then we really were having difficulty looking at from the rep level and all the way to the CRO level and making it make sense, really making things connect. So what'd we do? If you can't guess it, we picked up outreach forecasting. And what we moved towards was rep-level accountability, where we could truly see who was submitting, when they were submitting, and what that looked like. We have real-time pipeline visibility, where we can actually go in and, as I know Nadia mentioned it earlier today, this is my dashboard every day. I don't live in CRM anymore. I live in outreach, because this is where I can see that true visibility. And then we have scenario modeling, which I'm pretty sure is my CRO's absolute favorite feature, which is the ability to go in and see what things are going to look like for the month, for the quarter, and for beyond. So I want to show a little bit here, thanks to the outreach team for showing us a little demo. For my Velocity folks, no, this isn't our data. So as we look up here, so when you're looking at your deal review, you're going to see a few things across the top. And this is really where you start to see the rubber meet the road with outreach. So you're able to see not only what's already come in, but what's forecasted, what's coming in further. But when you look at your opportunity data, this is really where it makes a difference. We have this thing called a health score. For those of you that aren't aware, a health score actually shows us using all the features and all the information that we put in within outreach to give us some insights to our managers and to our reps of the likelihood of a deal coming in. So you'll see things like, oh, we didn't have a calendar meeting this week. Uh-oh. Oh, we didn't have any prospects on our last call. That's a problem. Right? Or in my world and in the revenue ops world, I get to the last week of the month and I say, anything that doesn't have a health score of 75 or higher, we have a real problem. Let's go in and take a look. So this deal review is giving not just insights, but actionable data and actionable feedback that my sales reps, managers, and entire leadership team can use. Now I'm going to go into the fun scenario planner, which I said was my CRO's favorite feature. What he's able to do is, without calling me, so for those that are RevOps leaders, you know what that means. Without calling me, he can go in by himself and choose different fields. So he can look at the quarter, he can look at the month, he can look by pipeline or by forecast category, or excuse me, stage or forecast category, and he can actually develop what it's going to look like, which doesn't sound like a big deal, but this runs against approximately, and outreach people correct me, but 10,000 Monte Carlo simulations to see what is most likely to come in for us. And this has changed our modeling when we go to our board and we go to our senior leaders, because this is giving another example of how rich the data can be, but how unbiased we can also make it as well. So besides just the basic data pieces, there's been a huge cultural and strategic impact for us by adopting outreach. Managers are empowered not just with the data, but with true insights that they can use. We have higher confidence in our forecast, which has also led to some appreciative comments from our board, because we know what's in our forecast and we know when things shouldn't be there. And then last but certainly not least, Pipeline management has become proactive instead of reactive. We're empowering our sales leaders to use this every single day to be able to go in, to pull up their deals, and then automatically have next step notes and updates. We don't have to call the reps anymore. How many reps are in the room that would like to have less calls with their managers, right? We don't want to call you if we don't have to, right? And this has helped not only with us being able to enable the tool, but to get that seller buy-in too. Because they know if they're doing things properly, we don't need to talk. Now, if they get a random call from me, well, then something's going a little funky. So it's really made a cultural and strategic impact on our organization and has freed up a mountain of time and confusion. So the big thing here that I want to leave all of you with today is that a good tool doesn't replace a sales leader judgment. Just like when you hear about AI taking jobs and all of those things, that's in no way what the situation is. What this really does is it sharpens your sales leaders' attitudes and their data-backed approach. It gives them a gut check to understand what they're really trying to do. Forecasting is now a shared language for growth among not only the sales org, but also our extended org, our CSMs, our renewal team, the entire sales and revenue cycle. And this truly gives us the ability to share that information, but also give that data-backed insights for any gaps that we may see. So if you're not already using outreach forecasting, I highly recommend taking a look. It's been a true game changer for us. Thank you.